Hello everyone, and welcome to another Rummy review. Today we are taking a look at another Battle B-daman. So, yes, haven't done these in quite a while, and for kind of good reasons. There just haven't been a lot on eBay that I've had left to review. And there goes my mini fridge again, sounding like a freaking Abrams tank. Thank you for interrupting me. But yes, so as you can probably tell, this is a lot different than your conventional beat-em-on that we've been looking at thus far. This is not Zero system, this is not Zero 2 system, this isn't even the cartridge system. This is just the Battle B-daman system, the predecessor to Zero 1. These were manga-only debuted blasters. So, long before the anime, there was a Battle B-daman manga, and it featured these blasters, which were, I guess you could say, the prototypes to the Zero 1 system. Though they look a lot bigger and bulkier and a lot more dangerous than the Zero 1 system. But yes, this is the predecessor to, what was his name? Bakuso or Soryu. And this is titled simply the Blue God Dragon, which I think also translates to Soryu in Japanese. But yeah. So this is a DHB included unit, so it comes with the beat-em-on and a DHB unit, as you can see right here in the left-hand corner. We have Wen on the right-hand side. We also have some logos right here. I believe this is Battle B-daman as well. I'm not sure what that says. We also have a very old retail marketing sticker from Japan that's been cemented into the box over time. So this thing went for 128 yen in Japan, I believe, when it was originally released, because this looks quite old. But yeah, so another detailed look on the box here. We have more shots of the beat-em-on as well as the DHB armor. So yeah, the box is pretty worn out, as you can imagine. It's been around for quite a while. We also have the Blue Dragon's emblem right here in the corner. So this is basically where all the emblems came from that you see on the blasters from the Hasbro and Takara versions in the Zero 1 system. It is blaster number 10. So there was a whole 9 other ones. I got another one, which is currently on its way here, so that's a surprise. We also have some more shots here of the wide loader, so the pre-Zero system wide loader. We also have some more armor components right here. And the new gimmick, or not really new, I guess, the old gimmick of these blasters, which we will get into when we actually review the blaster. We got some shots here of Cobalt Sword, the predecessor to Cobalt Blade, and Blue God Dragon right there. Also, I forgot to take this off. This is... oh, can I do it without damaging the box? Not really, I damaged the box. This is a very old box, guys. Okay, alright, it's a little messed up, but whatever. So that's the thank you... what is it? The thank you letter from the seller. So again, we also have a display here for the Red Saint Dragon, which is Bakuso in Hasbro's and Takara's Zero 1 line. And we also have the famous combination between the two brother dragons right there. And we also have some more stuff here in Japanese, which I can't read. And warning information and sprue kits and whatnot. So that's pretty much the box. Now I'm going to lower the camera here because we're going to need some more space to do this. Sprue kits, man. Oh, boy, do I remember these. Okay, hold on. Let me just adjust that. There we go. That's better. So, the parts look like they're in still good condition. That's good. There's a little bit of whatever that is, dust on them, I think. Yeah, this thing was probably in storage for a very long time. Also, on camera, it's coming out as a very light cobalt blue. Not cobalt blue. Aqua blue. It actually is a cobalt blue in person, but it looks a lot lighter here in on the camera. Some more plastic stuff. A lot of sprue kits. Wow. I forgot just how many parts these came with. Stickers. A lot of stickers, I think. And instructions, and I believe that's the shield sight inside there as well. and folding pieces. And here we have the body, which is very reminiscent of the DHB magazine. So this is kind of where the inspiration for that came from. So yeah, I guess before they decided just to make the DHB unit a part of the blaster itself, not independent armor, which I think is a little bit better, because then you wouldn't have to spend so much money on, you know, DHB armor. You really just need a shield sight and the little impact pin at the bottom. But yeah, okay, so I'm going to de-sprue all these parts, and I'm going to add stickers if I can. I don't know if they still have any adhesive, but if they do, I will apply them. If not, then I won't apply them. But yeah, so I'll be back with all the stickers applied to the parts and all of them off their sprue kits. Okay, so seeing as this was one of the first times I've built one of these blasters, I unfortunately had to do it off camera because there was a few things that I just wasn't getting or whatever, so the video ended up being too long, so I had to cut most of it out because it was just a fiasco. I had to mess with different parts. I had to take things apart and put them back together again. A lot of foul language was involved, but yeah, so I finished building the blaster off camera. I figured you guys wouldn't want to spend, you know, 30 minutes watching me try to put together a blaster in complete silence. So, with that said, it is finished, it is done, and this is the Blue God Dragon fully assembled. So, it looks very much like Bakuso in terms of this headpiece here. You can also tell with the wing armor. It looks a lot different, though, in terms of the basic body design. As you can see here, it looks very similar to a DHB unit. As the blaster is on its own a DHB type blaster, it is pretty much everything right here, the magazine at the back here, this is all part of the blaster. The only things that you have to attach and you can detach are the shield sight and this little target pin, which we'll get to that in a bit here. But yeah, all in all, it's pretty bulky. It is still fairly small, even though it looks quite large. It does fit in the palm of my hand. I'd say it's a little bit bigger than a Zero blaster, I think. Smaller than a cartridge system, obviously, but nevertheless, it is a lot dangerous. I might skip the stickers on the next one, because these do stick, but they still kind of come off, so, you know, I understand why some people don't put them on, because they end up falling off anyway, but it looks pretty plain without stickers, so I thought I would give it a shot. They still kind of stick, though. So, building-wise, yes, I can see why this system kind of got shelved for the Zero system. It's still good, it still works, it functions pretty much the same. The only difference is that it takes a lot of time to put together, and to swap in between DHB armor, it also adds a lot of time. There's a lot of unnecessary parts that you need to attach. Like I said, like the crossfire mechanics, you have to tie things together with bolts, which, coincidentally, I broke one of my tools doing that. So, thank goodness they came with a spare tool. I think that was why this one was packaged, just in case you happen to break this one. So, yes, they do give you an added pin, or tool, or whatever. But yeah, a lot more work is put into putting this together. The DHB mechanic is also a little bit different. As you can see here, it doesn't have a DHB barrel. It just uses the blaster's standard barrel, which is also very reminiscent of the Bakuso accuracy barrel. I don't know how much accuracy it would actually give, but the chamber actually, like where the head is, the bead ball actually sits like inside here and the head's up here. So there's actually a fair bit of distance between the bead ball and the barrel's exit. So it doesn't look like much of a barrel, but most of the inside of the blaster here is the barrel. So there is, you know, a substantial amount of accuracy, and I don't really think these fins are necessarily needed for accuracy. They're just there for show. But yeah, so if we take a little ganter around, it does look very similar to a DHB blaster, the back, of course. This is, though, in fact, part of the blaster. It's not a separate piece of armor that you can detach. Okay, so the DHB system. It works just like the standard DHB system. You have to hit this pin right here to win. The only difference is, instead of disabling a barrel armor, you press it, and this little cap up here opens up, and this little medallion here gets ejected, which I believe they're called spirit stones. So yeah, that's what this was, the mechanism used before the barrel disabling mechanics that we come to know in the Zero system and onwards. So yes, it has the emblem, the blue dragon emblem. It also has this little crest at the back here too. I'm not sure what that is exactly. I guess it's just one of Wen's symbols. But yeah, that's essentially what happens. You get hit, and the cap of your Beat-em-on opens up, and it ejects this little stone. It's kind of like the medals from Metabots. If anybody remembers Metabots, I highly doubt it. But yeah, that's basically what happens. Also, putting the medallion in is also... You have to kind of put the blaster up at an angle if you want the medallion to sit in there. And yeah, it locks back into place. Also, the DHB mechanic or whatever, it's a little finicky too, as when I've been putting it on and off, I've had issues with it either opening instantaneously or not opening at all. So there was that, but luckily I guess I just was being a bit dumb, but I found a way to actually have it work 100% properly. It does give you 3 other medallions here, if I angle this up a bit. As you can see here in the shield sight, they have 6 spaces for 6 medallions that you can put in there. I guess if you collect more of these guys, you can, you know, deck out your shield sight, I guess, if you want to. I don't know why, but you could. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Aside from that, I can pretty much show you what the blaster looks like without the DHB armor, but quite honestly, it's not much different. But we're going to do it anyway. Fun fact, too. The folding pieces on the inside, it's kind of like the Delta Core in a sense. There's 3 folding pieces, and the one on the left side has a rubber attachment, which is very much like the Delta, or not the Delta Core, the Drive Core. So I guess they sort of had a whole mishmash of ideas from all the different blasters in each generation in this, and I guess they just decided to split them up in the Zero system. Also, the sticker keeps coming off, and I don't know why I left it on. I should have just pulled these off. Also, yes, these things are so hard to get out. But yeah, okay, there we go. So here's the, yep, there goes a sticker. So there's the DHB unit, or sorry, not the DHB unit, the shield sight, which is just a very similar prototype version of the Zero system shield sight. Actually, the Zero 2 system, because the Zero 2 shield sight didn't have any like openings or whatever, so I guess this is closer to that model. Also has this little spring thing here, which helps trigger the disabling mechanic in the blaster. And yeah, you even have to screw in together some parts for this. Yes, a lot of... Like, I thought assembling the DHB armor in the Zero systems was bad. This is much, much more complicated. I can tell you that right now. I can see why they decided to move on to the Zero system. So yes, bear in mind, these are very... Well, not very, but more complicated than the Zero systems. So if you manage to get one online, prepare for at least, I'd say, 30 minutes to about an hour and a half of building this thing. Unless, like, you are a master. But this is my first time building one of these Beat-em-ons, so, you know, didn't really get a chance to freeball it. But, yeah, when I get around to the next one, hopefully I'll be more prepared, and I'll have it ready. So, alright, I was disabling this, wasn't I? I forgot to do that. Yeah, there's normally a sticker on the foot, but I kept it off because, you know, it was just getting in the way. So the DHB armor pegs detach right here. Some of these are really tight too. You got to be very careful not to accidentally break your tool or the Beat-em-on. So yeah, you have to take off both legs to remove the DHB target pin here. Yeah, it's a lot of work. I didn't expect it to have this much There. Alright, so that comes off. All you're just hearing is plastic creaking now. I bet age didn't really favor this Beat-em-on too well either, because a lot of parts are stiff, so I had to break them in a bit. But yeah, so with that aside, this is just a blaster on its own. No difference whatsoever. Literally, it requires, I think, the DHB mechanic for it to be fully functional. I mean, you can still shoot it and stuff, but like the only games I think are available, well, I shouldn't say that, because really, you don't really need any armor to play any other of the games, but yeah. So this is pretty much it. You can just shoot pins, play Battle Hammer, those kind of games. You can leave the DHB armor if you want to, if it's too complicated to pull on and off, but it could get in the way, so yeah. A lot of effort to swap from DHB mode to normal mode, but it's still pretty good. And also, I think, did I? Oh no, yeah, okay. So these spaces are just for the shield sight. But yeah, get an extra long trigger here. I believe each Beat-em-on too that came in this series has its own unique trigger, which is pretty cool. So yeah. Anything else I'd like to mention? Yeah, aside from that, it's, I guess, a pretty good blaster. If I had to rate it, I'd put it maybe 7 out of 10, just because building complications and this. Breakable tools. Not fun. Don't like that. I really hate that. I panicked when that happened. I was like, great, I'm not going to be able to finish the Beat-em-on, but lucky for me, it saves itself by giving me a extra pin to work with. So yes, building complications, fragile tools, dock it a little bit from a 8 or a 9. Nothing really gets a 10 in my book, but you know, there have been some close calls, but this is not one of them. However, it is still a cool Beat-em-on, and like I said, these guys are really rare, so I got them basically because of their novelty. I don't know if I'll be using them that much because, you know, it's a lot of work to manage these things. But yes, again, 7 out of 10. Yeah, I'd say that's good enough. So yeah, this has been Blue God Dragon. If you enjoyed this video, please comment, like, and subscribe, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.